But Mission Impossible Fallout, I'm really excited about. You know what I really enjoyed? We watched Fallout together.
Oh.
We haven't watched a movie together like just two of us in a long time, right? Like the two of us, right?
Yeah.
I enjoyed just like chilling out after and talking about it. Because we haven't done that in a long time. I was like, that brought me back to our Dark Knight days, driving around.
Exactly.
And talking
just driving
Dark Knight.
around. The only difference was I was chauffeuring you around.
Were, yes. Good stuff.
You know, but like, immediately with the trailers for Fallout, I knew that I was going to like this movie.
Yeah.
Okay? And of course, like, I read up and I knew that McQuarrie was back. And you know, you got a 56-year-old Tom Cruise doing Tom Cruise things. And just once you watch the initial couple trailers, you're just like, shit. And even like with that, Addiction song by Imagine Dragons. That was a great way to bring you in.
That played during the
Down
trailer.
with the sickness.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a great way. Like,
or Down with the Victim, that's right.
Yeah, I enjoyed it during the trailers, but I'm glad it didn't appear during the movie.
Yeah, but like...
I was really expecting it during the credits.
So was I.
And it didn't happen.
Man, like... Okay, so recently I watched the Venom trailer.
The new one that came out today?
Yeah.
Okay,
and the Venom trailer is indicative of my problem with a lot of trailers where they show too much of this movie.
Yes.
Okay?
Way too much.
They spoiled a big boss battle that you knew was going to happen, but you didn't need to visually see it.
Yeah. Okay?
So, having said that, largely the trailer was good, but there was just too much of it.
I'm excited to watch it.
I like the idea of it now better.
It won't be as good as Fallout. I'm excited to watch it.
But Fallout's trailers were so good because they showed you quite a bit of the movie. But the way the movie moved, you actually forgot about stuff until they showed you it, and then you went, oh yeah, that's right, that was in the trailer. Yeah. That's so crazy. That's awesome. And this movie is 2.5 hours.
It's long. It's got to be the longest Mission Impossible.
It's the longest Mission Impossible. It's one of the longer action movies out there. Like Spectre was 2.5 hours. This movie did not feel like 2.5 hours at all. At all. This was literally like unrelenting for the most part. Just always like this, then a little bit of this, and then right back up, and right back. But at the same time, I never felt exhausted.
I didn't feel exhausted. I felt almost out of breath at times, but like the amount of like the adrenaline in it. What was happening on screen, like that kind of exhausted.
There's a whole bunch of like, holy fuck, and then when you're like, just as you're done saying holy fuck, you're like, there's more?
Holy fuck.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Like
you get a taste of it right at the beginning with the well, actually it's kind of funny because like the initial opening is weird because you have that dream sequence where
you have the dream sequence.
Wayne is marrying them, and he's just like, do you take her to have it, to hold it, to wreck her life, and make her hide, and change names.
Right away they're showing you like Julia's in this.
Yeah, and then you have the scene where like Ethan's sleeping in a bunker by himself, and you're just like, fuck. Wakes up, does the whole Mission Impossible, like your mission if you choose, except where they now talk about how the Splinter Cell from Syndicate is the Apostles, and their whole thing is to get these 3 nuclear warheads because you can't have peace without a great suffering.
Exactly.
Which is a great line. It's absolutely a great line, and they talk about this John Lark, who is the spearhead of it, and you're just like, Jesus, fuck, and you gotta find this doctor, because you need the specs on how to stop it, so that way we can save the world. You know? That's the opening.
And it was crazy, too, because I almost thought a nuke went off at first.
That part was nuts.
I was like, holy shit, that's why this movie's called Fallout?
And I loved that.
Because there's a fucking nuke.
Because immediately you're just like, he didn't do it.
Yeah.
He didn't do it. He didn't save the world. And then you start to go, oh, hold on.
Then I started to piece it. It went like...
Because I'll tell you right now, I did the same thing. I was just like, oh, geez, he didn't do it. You know? And then when they wake the doctor up, and they start to grill him, then I'm like, okay, all right, I got this. Now I understand that it was just a fake out to get the information. But I even love the reaction where he's just like, oh, you're reading it out of the air. Yeah. Like, not once going like, this can't be fucking happening. He's just like, okay, there you go. There's everything you need. Yeah. And then Benji's out in his Wolf Blitzer mask, and it's just like, yeah, told you he'd do it. Pay up. This is great. You know, And then again, like, I liked how they used the CIA with Angela Bassett, who I don't think is aged. We talk about Tom Cruise never aging. I think she's older than him.
She never ages.
And she, Jesus Christ, like...
Hairstyle changes, nothing else.
You know, like, we just saw her Black Panther.
Yeah.
Which, okay, but that's not too far removed. But I don't remember the last time I saw her, but I don't remember going, woof, she's old. She does not look old in this. So you get introduced to her. In the CIA, you get introduced to the admittedly dumb name, August Walker for Henry Cavill.
Mm-hmm.
I like that they never refer to him as August ever again.
Yeah, it's just Walker.
It's just Walker.
Yeah.
Okay? And she says, you know, you're a scalpel, he's a hammer. You know? But I like how they use that and they never jokingly say it's just a bunch of old men dressing up in masks playing Halloween. But that's a recurring theme, and it's a derision theme. They're just like, ugh, they're wearing masks and hiding and shit, right? But again, it's like I said in Rogue Nation, it plays up to Ethan being the guy that doesn't want to be out in the forefront.
Yeah.
He wants to get in and get out as quickly as possible and maximize or minimize the amount of damage, deaths, and everything, and just innocent people being killed, you know? He'll kill bad guys if he has to, but he won't.
If he has to, yeah, but
if he doesn't, if he can get in and out without anybody seeing him, he'll do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and but immediately, so I like how again that's a commentary on Mission Impossible.
Yep.
The spy movies as a whole. Tom Cruise, you know, as a nutcase. But I also like how immediately they show you the differences between Walker and Ethan Hunt.
Yeah, because they go like right into the plane together.
We're
doing the Halo jump together. Now.
You know, and like Walker's kind of a douche about it. He's a cocky douche. He's just kind of like
yeah.
You know, and
the back end opens and Ethan looks down.
Ethan's just like, no, we can't do this because it's a storm.
There's a big storm down there. We got to rethink this.
Jumps out, and then it's just like, what, are you afraid of a little lightning? And then he gets struck.
I know.
Like, instantly.
Just a boom.
And I was just like, holy shit. And then I love how the sound just drops dead. Yep. No music, no sound, no nothing. And it slowly gets back up. And you're just like, whoa. And then Ethan takes his tank off, gives it to Walker, saves Walker. And like I said in the theater, I like that Walker didn't immediately know.
Yeah.
He was just like, oh, you lost your tank. You fucking idiot. You know, and Ethan's just kind of like, all right, whatever.
Yeah,
they go into this ridiculously intense dance, bar.
Yeah. Yes, crazy club.
Just nuts
club. I actually whispered over to you, like, hey, it's Collateral.
Yeah, exactly.
It's Brunette Vincent.
But they walk through the club. The whole purpose is to set up a meeting with the White
Widow, yeah.
The White Widow, which apparently is the daughter of Max.
Max.
From the first movie.
I just read that.
I read that and I was just like, they mentioned it in the movie and I never caught that.
Yeah.
But that's awesome.
That's amazing.
That's so cool.
Nice little throwback.
Based around fucking Fitbits.
Yeah.
Fitbits that'll say, hey, I'm Lane, and or I'm Lark, I'm John Lark, and you're not, and blah, blah, blah. So they track down Lark in the bathroom. So you get that wicked awesome fight scene.
That bathroom fight.
That we saw in the trailers where, you know, he's loading his fucking arms like shotguns.
I actually watched a clip of that on Instagram today where someone played it in slow-mo. Did you watch that?
No, but I'm not surprised that that's a new thing now.
No, but like, it was slow-mo, and when he does this, as soon as he puts this fist down, he's got a darker shadow here, and a pocket appeared on his shirt.
Oh, wow.
Right here.
Oh, wow.
It's just like, boom, boom, pocket beard.
Interesting.
I was like, I didn't even notice that.
I did not notice that.
That's hilarious.
Now, before we delve too much into that fight scene, one of the things I'll mention really quickly is, so they say Ethan's the scalpel, Walker's the hammer. This fight scene shows it perfectly.
Yes.
Those punches that Walker is nailing,
just boom,
just
boom,
bam,
boom,
bam, bam, bam. You're just like, I would be dead. One punch.
Yeah.
This guy, and props to this actor, this character, because he gets the fucking shit kicked out of him and still kicks the shit out of these two guys. Mm-hmm. Okay? But, okay, so the fight scene, one of the best fight scenes I've ever seen. This is absolutely fucking crazy. And also, one of the best fight scenes in this movie, but it's not the best fight scene. This is the beginning fight scene that you have to see that leads into 4 other scenes that you have to see in this movie, and nothing feels like you could take it out and it would not change the movie.
And you still got some humor in that scene too, because they're in the stall.
Yeah.
And those guys are like, "Hey, what's going on here?"
Well, yeah. Okay. So first, the original scalpel part for Ethan was that he's got the needle. They're gonna drug him, steal his face, so Ethan can wear his mask.
Exactly.
So he can look like this guy Lark. Okay, and get in, have a meeting with White Widow. Because some dude just shows up and fucks everything up, they have to fight. Cavill or Walker's character, they have this brutal 4-minute sequence where this guy is taking on both highly trained individuals who's they're both hitting him. He's hitting them. There's hard hitting, it feels real.
Yeah.
None of this feels fake, and there's none of this Ethan waits until Walker's done attacking. A lot of times they're attacking him simultaneously, and then he fucks them up, he chops Walker's throat, so now Walker's ugh.
Yeah.
And then he's kicking the fuck out of Ethan, or Ethan's trying to kick the fuck out of him. They have that awesome scene with the pipe, where he's got hooked around Ethan, and it's almost jammed in his neck.
Yeah.
And then finally, just as it seems like they're gonna turn the tide, Walker nails him with the laptop. The same laptop that is supposed to scan his face to make the mask. He just cranks him. And then he's just Ethan's what the fuck? Well, you said knock him out.
Yeah.
I did.
Tap it on the screen.
And then they open the laptop and a big, huge crack, and you're just well, shit. And even the look that Ethan gives him is just
yeah.
You know, and it's just okay, well, fuck. And then he wakes up, and again the fight just keeps going. It's 10 minutes of brutally realistic looking fight scenes. But again, so Walker gets knocked out, and you have this scene again where Ethan's just all right. Mm-hmm. And he knows he's not going to beat this guy. You can tell he's not going to beat this guy. He feels it, but he's all right, I'm going to do it anyway. And now they start fighting for the gun that was lost, right? And then what happens? Ilsa comes in and kills Lark, blows his fucking brains out, so there's no chance of getting the mask now. Yeah. Fuck, that was crazy. Yep. And you're just oh, yes, she's back. You're happy to see her, and she's literally you can't do this, Ethan. You can't do this, but I can't tell you why. And again, Ethan's just all right, I get it, but no trust displacement has happened.
I like how he was automatically you got out. Why are you here?
And then it's just
he wanted nothing but the best for her. And she's back in it now.
Yeah, and he's happy to see her, but he's just any other circumstance, I'd be even happier. And that's right. He's you got out. What happened? She's well, I was with Lane for 2 years. Mm-hmm. They want me to kill Lane to show that I'm part of it. He's just fuck. All right. And then they go into the meeting with the White Widow, which I actually thought was a great introduction, where she's doing this spiel about her mom and how her mom was an activist, and then that whole she sees Ethan, and this is the first time that Ethan's playing a different character, but he's not wearing a mask, which I thought was really cool.
He's just we're gonna hope that she's never seen him.
Exactly, and it's just hope's not a strategy, and it's just you're new, right?
Yeah.
I was yes, that's awesome. But it's great, too, because, again, it's just that whole, well, Ethan's just well, I'm just going to hope for the best, and it's either going to work or it's not. Yeah. But I'm going to figure something out. And I love that that's something that they kept saying. It's so what's the plan? I'm going to figure it out. And his team is just okay, all right. A couple of things did bug me, but we'll go scene by scene. So this scene is also really cool. And another great fight scene, where now Ethan and Ilsa, yes, are now
and the White Widow
fuck out of everybody, and the White Widow
with
too.
A knife.
Oh, just brutal.
Yeah.
Nothing about this was pretty in any sense of it. But I even just love how he says to her, he's just look, you got a choice. You can leave with me, because these guys are going to kill you. You can leave with your brother. And she immediately goes, well, I guess I'm leaving with you now.
Yeah.
She doesn't say that, but that's exactly what it is. And I was just oh, okay, they have that whole big thing. And, and then now Ethan and Walker are now teaming with her to eventually break out Lane.
Yep.
Because the White Widow is a power broker.
Yep.
Which I thought was really cool.
Doesn't want to be paid by money.
That's right. But favors.
Favors.
So as long as she can
we
get
want
in
Lane.
good. So get Lane, give it to this people. She's got a couple get out of jail free card, which I thought was really cool. And it's also one of those things where you're just like, you don't see that enough in spy movies.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to remember if I ever saw something like that, and I can't recall. No. And I just remember thinking like, wow, that's actually really smart. Where she's just like, favor for a favor type of thing. Money's great. I have money, you know? And then they set up that whole sequence where they're going to bust Lane out, which is awesome. Absolutely awesome.
So great. And the way it was shot, like, why did I write their names here? Cinematographer Rob Hardy and editor Eddie Hamilton. The way they shot this film. They should win an award. The way they shot this movie, like, when that truck falls to the bottom of the fucking river, and Sullivan's, like, sideways, and you see the water coming, like this. It's just like, God. Holy crap, man. The way they shot that, and not just that, like the car scenes, everything. Everything
single inch of this movie
so amazing.
Was amazing. It was real.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay? Even when it was, like, ugly, it was still just like, holy shit. Like, I mean, even just the scene where they're laying out the initial plan to get Lane, and Ethan realizes that in order for this to work, he's got to kill a cop.
Yes. Yes.
And I hate that I didn't immediately go, well, that's no way that's real. Because I was like, oh my god, he has to kill him. Oh. And then he does, and you're just like, oh my god. And then it's just like, Ethan goes, no, we can't do that.
Yeah.
You know?
They cut to, like, because he was thinking about it. It's just like, no.
He plays it in his head, and I like that they did that, where he's plays the whole sequence in his head and goes...
That whole sequence in his head felt very Dark Knight to me.
It was very Dark Knight.
Like, holy shit.
Yeah. And apparently, that was actually going to happen. That was going to be a part of the movie. But ultimately, McQuarrie was like, no, that's too dark, Tom. We can't do that. And I'm glad that they did the fake out where they show it, because I immediately was like, oh, man, Jesus.
All these cops are falling.
You know, and then he has to, like, point blank kill the guy. And he takes his mask off, too, so you know that it's Ethan. And you're just like, holy shit. And then he's just like, he doesn't say, we're not doing that plan. He lets him think we're doing it.
Exactly.
And then he completely does his own plan. And does this awesome thing where they knock Lane off into the water, and the other parts, like Luther and Benji, take Lane out of the actual armor truck, while Walker and Hunt are now getting chased around by cops all around this entire... I can't remember where this was now. Belfast?
Yeah.
Was it Germany?
Yeah, I don't actually remember what city it was in anymore.
It was a place in Europe.
It was very European.
A very European place.
Very European.
And it kind of reminded me of the Bourne Supremacy, where Bourne's at the subway, looks at his watch and goes, oh, okay, and then does this whole big loop around.
Yes.
Directing all the cops after him, just so that, like, the 5-10 minutes for that train to move, he's not stuck there. You know what I mean? And I loved that, but like on a huger scale. Like, he's in the armored truck with Walker. They get to the one spot, then they ditch that for the motorbikes, and Walker's works, which we find out why. Walker's works, Hunt's doesn't right away, but eventually it does, and then you have this breathtaking, like, 5-minute scene of him just driving around.
No, and the way it was shot, it was just like...
I mean, like...
It was, like, low to the ground, and it was flowing with them.
Back
and it was just,
and
like...
in, and it was, like I was saying, like, I feel like this was a green screen, or at least, like, this is an empty lot situation, so that the entire outside, like, it's actually there, and all the cars are CGI'd in, but at the same time, I'm like, Tom is just crazy enough that... But, I mean, there's a couple of shots where you're like, that has to be CGI.
Oh, I mean...
Some of these car scenes... But it's just...
And he's got to have a stunt double for some things. I mean...
But it's so hard to tell.
I know.
It's so hard to tell, especially because 9 times out of 10, that camera is here.
Yeah.
You know, like, so here. So you are Ethan Hunt. I'm looking right at you while you're doing
just
all these
a lot
crazy
closer,
scenes.
like he's in your face right now.
Yeah, exactly.
In 3D.
And that's another thing, too. Like, we watched it in 3D, and I remember both of us kind of being like, this seems weird that it's 3D.
3D for Mission Impossible.
And then halfway through the movie, we're like, that's why.
Yeah.
That's exactly why.
That in the helicopter.
But, so then again, so like I said, so we start off with a sequence where it's very small. There's the trucks. There's Ethan. Knocks Lane into the water.
Yep.
And then it snowballs into this beautifully crazy, huge scene where he's deking out all these cops, and then finally meets up with Luther and Benji in the boat with Lane. Like, it's just fucked.
Crazy.
It is
so crazy. And then that poor female cop gets shot. And,
yeah.
And Ethan's just
and you
like,
think it's going to be Walker, too.
And
you absolutely think it's going to be Walker. And then she gets shot, and because you feel like he's actually going to talk her out of it. Like, he's going to she's going to suddenly go like, okay, all right. Then she gets shot, and then he fucking lays out all four of them.
Yeah.
All four.
Yeah, he rarely kills, but in that situation,
just like that, just bam, 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 bam. And I was just like, yes!
Yeah.
And then literally drops everything. Hey, you'll be okay. You'll be fine. You know what I mean? And he says, I'm sorry. And I'm just like, oh my God, you feel for him. Mm-hmm. And this is where I was saying where they kind of hint at it in Rogue Nations as to the motivations behind Ethan Hunt. Now we're starting to see the Ethan Hunt. Mm-hmm. Now we're starting, and this helps me get behind the character even more.
Yeah.
Because now he's human. This is a guy that just wants to save the world. He doesn't want anyone to get hurt. Doesn't matter who you are. Nobody gets hurt. Not in his watch. Mm-hmm. And that's another reason why he will never, ever work with Walker on the level that they're trying to do it. Because he can't. No. Walker is the guy that says, I would let Luther die to save those nukes. Whereas, and that's, we didn't say that at the beginning, the whole purpose of this movie was that the nukes were stolen by the Syndicate because Ethan refused to let Luther die.
And I was really like, oh, please don't let Luther die in that scene.
I know, me too.
Because I was like, it's the opening scene. He's the longest running character besides Ethan. To show how badass these guys are, killing Luther would really prove that they are mean motherfuckers.
Yeah, and Ethan refused, and I love that Alec Baldwin, I wish I remembered his, Hundley, yeah. Hundley is just like, you let one guy live. You sacrifice the entire mission, thousands of lives for one guy, and there are people that would say that is your weakness, but that is your biggest strength. Yeah. That's how I know I can trust you. I was like, fucking right! That is awesome. Because in Ethan's mind, he saves Luther. He knows he'll get the nukes back. Yeah. It's not a matter of if, it's when. Yeah. So, and I wish I touched upon that sooner, but like I said, we're getting more and more of his character, and man, and then when that scene just kind of stops, and they get away and they go to the interrogation scene with Lane, that's where you get the little ebb, right? So now we got some quiet time, now we got some exposition, now we get the part where Lane is just like, we're not terrorists. No, not even close. And I was like, man, that's so great that he's like almost like disgusted that people think he's a terrorist. Yeah. He's like, I'm looking for change. I'm going to change the world. And the only way to do that is with a great suffering. That's how you get peace. You have to have this in order to have peace. And you're just like, you're fucking scary how crazy this sounds.
That's very Thanos of you.
But the problem, the biggest problem is that you can kind of see where he's coming from. Wars happen. What happens after war? Peace. He's just thinking on a much larger scale, right? Like Thanos. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But he's so much more chilling in this movie.
He is.
And with the beard and everything, I was just like, holy shit. Like, even when, I thought for sure that he would shave towards the end of the movie. He doesn't. Nope.
Why would he?
He thought he was going to die.
He's got a day left. He doesn't care.
He figured he was going to die, and that was it. But, oh, man, the fake out with the... Okay, so this is where we pretty much talked about the entire movie.
Yep.
But when we find out that Henry Cavill, August Walker, is in fact Jonathan Lark, I eye rolled a bit there, because I was just like, you had pegged it right away. I'll give you credit.
I called it.
You called it. You actually said to me, he's Lark, and I was like, yeah, I don't know, like, it just kind of doesn't make sense. But then when they have Lark, or Walker actually starts spouting, he's like, yeah, when I wrote that, I was literally saying, like, I mean those words. I'm not looking for revenge against Ethan Hunt. I don't give a shit about that guy. Mm-hmm. I want then I was like, okay. Like, I feel if Cavill, and I said this in the theater, I feel like Cavill's a very quietly awesome actor. Okay? So when he's doing those scenes where he's just like, yeah, when I wrote that, I believed it. I still mean that. I want this to happen. I don't give a shit about Ethan Hunt, Eventually he does, because just like Lane, Hunt is so relentless.
He starts to see what Lane sees.
And he starts to now, like, he's starting to go, fuck it, I just want to kill that guy.
Yeah.
That guy's got to die. And it's not even like, you don't get the sense he feels like he's got to kill Ethan to have his mission done. Now it's like, no, I gotta kill him. I gotta kill him.
Yeah.
You know?
So yeah, I called both the twists in that
Yeah,
scene.
you also called the Benji mask twist.
Yeah.
Which and normally I am on point for this kind of shit. I just felt like with Lark Walker, it was too easy. So I did kind of eyeball, and I was kind of like, oh, and I almost felt like, well, yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Why wouldn't you be? I was kind of thinking that the twist would have been Angela Bassett's character.
Okay. Yeah.
You know.
Yep.
But it was
which I thought was a really, like, when you said that, it was Angela Bassett, I was like, that may be.
Because you start going through the Rolodex of the characters, and you're like, well, she's kind of sort of been in the entire movie without actually being there, so it could work.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but like I said, it does work, but the Benji fake out, I totally didn't see at all. And you did. And I was just like, well, shit. But I thought that was great too, where he's just, again, he goes, it's all like grown men in masks with hollow shit.
Yeah.
So he's on camera now saying, I'm Lark, and this was my plan, and this was, the whole thing is me, and I'm working with Lane, and fuck.
Yeah.
You know, and then you start to see, like, he's getting a little bit, he gets a little frazzled there, but then right back into, like...
Just, like, this creepily calm, just, like...
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm good. Everyone's still gonna die the way I want them to.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, after that whole big shootout, too, when they kill off Hunley.
Yeah, right after he's like...
I can see why you like this. Yeah. I can see why you guys love doing this. This
is
a lot of fun, and you're just like... Yes!
The big guys.
Yes! And then you're like, no!
Let's get stabbed.
Don't do it!
But that opens the door for Renner to return in the next one.
I know, and I hope that's the case. I really hope that's the case, because that was one of the first things we said right at the end of the movie.
It's like, I hate to see Alec Baldwin go, but if it means that Renner's going to come back as a new secretary.
Yeah, and...
I'm okay with that.
But so then immediately what do you have? You have Walker strolling to the the helipad.
Yeah, just walking along.
He's got a huge lead. He's strolling because his plan, just like Ethan, he is so confident that this is going to work. Not a care in the fucking world. Mm-hmm. He might as well have been skipping.
Yeah.
Just picking up a flower. The whole world is going to die. This is amazing. You know? I can't get over this. And that leads into
that crazy Tom Cruise running.
The most epic running scene I've ever seen.
Yes, we know Cruise loves to run.
Just in general, not just Cruise, but in general.
Yes.
I was getting, like, my legs were getting sore watching this guy. You know, like, he's doing this at 56, and I know there's takes. And
he broke his leg during that scene,
too. But there's long shots of him doing these runs, so I don't care how many takes they did. Even if they just did 5 takes. They didn't. They did more than 5. But if they just did 5 takes, that's still a ridiculous amount of running. That when I look here and I go, man, I'm like 21 years younger than that guy, and I can't even do 3 minutes before I'm like, fuck it, running is dumb. Yeah. And right now, I don't even like walking. You know? I was just like, I can't get over it. Like, you could talk about how insane he is, but it lends so much credibility to this movie that it's him doing 90% of this. Maybe even 85, but that's still a ridiculous number.
And then you get the great Benji commentary on the radio. Like, he's getting away, Ethan. He's like, I'm about to jump out a window. Like, what's taking you so longer? Like, jumping out a window.
But, okay, so here's some of the stuff with the Benji shit where I started to kind of roll my eyes a little bit was... frequently throughout the movie, you had Benji questioning Ethan Hunt. Mm-hmm. So he's been there almost as long as Luther. He's actually the second longest.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right. Every single time, Ethan has saved the world, and ultimately Benji's life. But so you have Benji going like, yeah, you're going to save my life. Oh, yeah, okay, how are you going to do that? I don't know, I'll figure it out. Yeah, you'll figure it out. And I felt like saying, like, wouldn't you be the one guy that's like, yeah, you will figure it out? You know? And I know that they were playing it for laughs.
Yeah.
You know? The other part where, you know, like when he's tracking him on the iPad, and it's just like, oh, I had it upside down. I was like, it's a funny joke, but if you really think about it, he'd be running in the actual opposite direction.
Yeah. If
it was upside down. It wouldn't just be like, you know, and then all of a sudden you forget for that 4-second sequence. So it was like, I get it was played for last, but it kind of took me out, because immediately I went, well, no, they'd be half across town on the opposite side.
Yeah.
Okay? But it did, like I said, even still, you had him running over rooftops, cutting across the whole thing, the huge jump.
That was nuts.
Where he, like, you see him hit, and, I mean, they shot it from the side.
Yeah, well, that's where he broke his leg, where his leg snapped.
Yeah,
was
exactly.
That shot.
And you're just like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
And, again, like...
And then he got up, and you see in the movie, he's, like, limping when he takes off, because he was doing having a broken leg.
Exactly, and you're just like, Jesus,
because he
Tom,
broke his leg, and he still got up.
Fucking, like, and of all the shots to keep, you keep the one with his broken leg in it.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and then when he finally does catch up to Lark, or Walker, I think from here on out, we'll just refer to him as Lark.
Lark.
Because it is cooler than Walker.
It is.
Yeah. I do like how the White Widow is just like, Jonathan Lark. I mean, that's a great name. Lark. And you're like, that is kind of cool.
Yeah.
And you have that scene where Ethan's hanging from the elevator bottom.
Right.
Much like Skyfall.
And then he looks up.
And looks up, and he's just like...
Looking down at him.
Looking down, and then he's just like, pulls the gun out, and then he goes, I'm her guardian angel.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the reason she's still alive. And you're like, holy fuck. And again, like I said, you knew she's in the movie. You saw her at the beginning.
Yep.
You forget that Julia's in the movie until that scene again. And then you're just like, holy shit.
Because it was just flashbacks at first.
Exactly.
Or like dream sequences.
Yeah.
This officially puts her in there.
That's right. And then you're just like, oh yeah, that's right. And like I said, like they did such a great job with the trailers that you forget that even at that point, there's still an entire helicopter sequence that we haven't seen yet. And I am glad that that was the climax of the movie. Yeah. Because holy fuck. And even that isn't even the whole scene. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's the lead up. It's now we're getting that Lane goes to the one village where they started the smallpox thing. Now, why does he go there? He did the smallpox thing so that Julia, who's a nurse on a global scale now, is going to be there so that Ethan Hunt can be there to watch her die first and foremost. He's fucking evil. Yeah.
Yeah, he's an evil motherfucker.
The second that they said this is the spot where the smallpox was and there was the Red Cross or whatever the hell they were, I went, oh god, that's Julia. That's how they get it. But the big gut punch, she's fucking married. Yeah. Never saw that coming.
She's a really old looking Wes Bentley.
Yeah. I remember saying that to you in the theater where I was just like, I think he's maybe about 10 years younger than Tom Cruise, and he looks 10 years older than Tom Cruise. Yeah. That's insane. Yeah. Wes, I don't know if you can watch this at all, but I don't know, maybe change whatever you're doing. If you smoke, stop.
You're not looking good, man.
If you're drinking a lot, stop. This is coming from, admittedly, this guy. Straight up. You look old.
But I was happy about that. Like, I actually enjoyed Julia in here.
She was great.
Which is weird, because I hated the marriage.
Yes, you did hate the marriage. Here's one of the reasons why I liked it so much. No woman in this movie was a damsel in distress.
No.
No. The cop that gets shot, she got shot because she was literally holding up 4 guys at gunpoint who were putting a masked dude in the back of a car, and she had no idea what the fuck was going on, but she was not going to stop. Yeah. You know, and I said, like, I felt like Ethan Hunt probably would have talked her out of it. He probably could have, but she got shot, and then Ethan saved her, but I didn't think she was any less capable. Mm-hmm. They didn't paint her like a rookie, is what I'm getting at. And then, of course, Ilsa Faust. Faust. That's how it's pronounced, by the way.
Faust.
And then Julia, she goes like, look, like, I'm helping on a global scale. This is my husband. And there's that awkward tension, or it's just like, he's on vacation. And then Tom's just like, nope, I'm actually working.
Oh, you're working.
Yep. And then, so Ethan fucks off, and Ilsa, I can't get over why it's so hard for me to say that. Ilsa and Simon, or Benji,
Simon,
Jesus Christ, are now looking for the bombs. So they're looking for the bombs. And then when Luther finds one, so they're now, like, he finds one, and he's about to detonate. She shows up and goes, okay, what can I do to help? Yeah,
Julie wants to help, and it's great, too, because now we get this, like, chemistry between her and Luther, because we knew it was there, but we never saw it before, because Luther only mentioned it.
Yeah, well, there's that scene where he says he sits down and he goes,
amazing
he
scene.
goes, there's only 2 women in the world that has ever affected Ethan.
Yeah.
And one of them was his wife, and she's like, he was married? He's like,
oh, he's married? He was married.
Yeah.
And that's where,
like,
yeah.
And then Luther's just like, all of this happened because he saved my life. And he's tearing up, and you're like, come on, man, come on.
I really enjoyed that scene.
That was a beautiful scene. And then even when he's like, every once in a while she would pop up to let Ethan know, like send up a signal to let him know he's alive. She's a ghost, and I trained her well. I'm like, man, this is so awesome. And I love that he's telling her this. Yeah. And he's saying, like, okay. And even just the fact that the reason why they split up was because he settled down. And now you get a sense of why there was such a time gap in between the movies, was because he lived a life with her, but eventually they both were kind of going, because every time something bad happened, Ethan was like, well, if I was there, would it have been different? And so they split up because of that. And I was like, that. And
it was mutual. Like she totally understood. Beautiful. And she said that she could like live every day happy because she knew he was out there. Just like
that. I mean, like, this movie subverted so much.
I know. It's a beautiful wrap up to everything. They literally touch on every one of the Mission Impossible movies.
I know.
Every one. White Widow's daughter, Max.
Yeah.
Later on, we'll get the little bit of Mountain Climb.
Yeah, you're getting a little.
It was a very good scene, man.
It's hot in here.
It's hot in here. No, I'm a marshmallow. And
I am too. I am too.
Thinking about that scene again with Bing talking and stuff, it got me in the theater too.
It got me too, because he gets emotional, because he's like, we're in this mess because of me.
Yeah.
Ethan saved my life, and now the whole world might be.
And he's asking her, please don't come.
Yeah.
Because
he'll be distracted.
Yeah.
And she goes, fuck that, I'm going anyway.
Yeah.
Right? Because, and she sells it too, because, Ethan shows up and is like, okay, what's going on? And she's like, let's go. Yeah. And I was like, okay, fine. So then, so we fast forward now to Luther and
bomb
Julia.
Defusal, yeah.
So now they have that thing where it's just like, well, same old Ethan type of thing, right? Because she still, she still loves Ethan. She still
she always
cares about him immensely. And even though she's married, and you touched upon it, we'll get to that in a second, but because I want to bookend it, but when it leads into that helicopter scene, like, holy shit, that is so fucking crazy awesome. Mm-hmm. He's holding the pay dirt, climbing up, falls.
My stomach dropped with that.
My stomach dropped.
Like, I was like, whoa.
I was just like, oh my god. And then, and again, the guy's just like, nothing happened, okay. Then he climbs all the way back up again, and, like, in a real life context, that's incredibly hard to do. Because I would estimate that the length of the rope is about 30 feet. Okay? Yeah. I would say that they're probably about a couple hundred feet in the air.
Yeah.
So gravity is already nailing him.
Yeah. Oxygen.
He's fallen off once. He's climbed back up again. Finally gets back in. And immediately, like, when they did that, I was like, okay, so this is kind of similar to the opening of Spectre with James Bond, where they had the big, huge, dragged-out fight scene. Nope. Literally tosses the guy out the one door and kills the other guy. Like, kills the one guy, tosses them both out. Yeah. I was like, that actually makes a lot of sense, because I remember watching Spectre and going, like, it's weird that Bond had so much trouble fighting this old dude in a helicopter, like, when there's open windows, like open doors, right? And I thought it was really neat that he was just like,
yeah.
All right.
And then the best part is he doesn't know how to fly a helicopter.
And like they ask, like, doesn't know how to fly an airplane or a helicopter? I don't think so.
Yeah, he's just like, all right, so this is
and again, like the level of confidence, or even just the fact that he just has to get this mission. He has to save the world, not save the world, but just complete the mission. Yeah. He's just like, all right, okay, so he's figuring it out on the fly, and then when he starts to get the hang of it, like, you're just like, it's a level of, now he's no longer this perfect, unstoppable force. Or, sorry, he's unstoppable, yes, but he's no longer perfect. Now you get that sense that he could fail.
Yes.
Even though you know he won't, you get the sense that he could.
And I was feeling that a lot during that end. Like,
the entire movie actually felt like he could fail at any time.
This could be the final mission. especially by bringing in Julia, by having like Big talk to or Luther talking to Ilsa about how he feels about her.
Yeah,
and it's just like this could be the end.
It could, and there was that sinking sense of dread in there where you're like, it could be the last Ethan Hunt Mission Impossible movie. And like, oh man, he's chasing after Cavill, and like I said, like this is where Lark gets really frustrated because he tears through all the bullets in his jacked up gun that you're just like, holy fuck, like Arnold Schwarzenegger in Commando here.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Giant turret.
Oh!
Just like, and then that's when he's just like, come on! Like, why has this gotta be so difficult, right? And the whole time Lane is on the ground just kind of going like, yep.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah, and they perfectly going back and forth between like Ilsa and Benji look for the other bomb, Luther and Julia over here.
Yeah.
Julia's talking to Luther and Ilsa's like, "Whoa, I like her."
Yeah, like the spacing is so good.
Yeah.
Like, but at no point in time does your like adrenaline drop because sure these are slower scenes, but you're still just like, oh yeah, the bomb, and oh yeah, find the bomb, and then she's going after Lane, or sorry, Faust is going after Lane. Because her end game is to kill him, right? And that fight seemed really crazy.
That fight.
But hold on, real quick. So
we'll go back
now, like I said, we get to Walker, and he's just like he wants to kill Hunt.
Yeah.
It's the mission, but he's got to kill Hunt. He absolutely has to kill Hunt. But yeah, that fight scene with Lane, holy shit! Like you got the sense in the first, like in Rogue Nations, that he was a badass. You never really seen it outside of a couple of like stabs and gunshots and stuff like that. Here, he's full on kicking the fuck out of her.
Toe to toe with her, and she's focused on saving Benji, who's fucking hung by a rope.
That's awesome. Kicks the stool in so he can stand on it, but then it gets knocked over, and I love the part where now she's got the choice. Kill Lane, sacrifice Benji. Kill Lane, sacrifice Benji. And you knew it was going to happen, but it was so awesome when she saves Benji and doesn't kill Lane, and now you're
knocks him out.
This is 100% the female Ethan Hunt. Now you get the sense
100%.
that she gets it.
Yes.
So now she's willing to save the one, sacrifice the millions to save the one, and you're like, oh. So now, okay, and again, that adds to that sense that they're going to kill Ethan Hunt off because you've got your next Ethan Hunt right here, who could just as easily slot right in.
And I was kind of like, oh, Ilsa could be taking this over. Oh, this is MI6, the movie.
Oh! Look at you!
Right?
Wow, I love that you saved that one. You did not let that nugget loose.
I was like,
shit, that must have been hard.
This is MI6.
Wow.
Holy shit. What if Ilsa takes over? But she doesn't.
That's right.
Helicopter.
Crash scene.
Helicopter kung fu.
Like, helicopter kung fu
nuts.
That leads into the crash scene.
Yes.
That leads into the top of the mountains.
And Tom or Ethan's trying to get out of the freaking helicopter,
and Lark is just like getting all that oil on his face, and
he's burning.
You're like, and they do that awesome scene where you see this side of his face, and then you
turns. It's all like his eyes glued together.
And then they have the fight scene that I complained about in Mission Impossible 2, where now these guys are both fucked up. They were in a completely stressful situation. They had a helicopter crash.
Yep.
They're not like, all right, martial arts, let's do flips.
Yep.
They're just like, the first thing August does is like puts him in a fucking headlock because he's just like, I just want to fucking kill this guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And Ethan's not even really trying to fight him. He's trying to get the detonator. Oh yeah, I forgot. There has to be...
Yeah.
2 bombs can only be diffused once the timer has been rung, but the
detonator has to be switched off at the same time.
Disabled before that.
It's just like, holy fuck.
Right, and that's nuts too, and you're just like, holy shit, like, I can't get over how they're going to get out of this, and then they fight, but then the helicopter starts falling off, it's in between the two, remember? Yeah, the two, and they're like in between it, and they fall off together, and it's hanging by the hook, and they're trying to scramble to not fall, while at the same time Ethan's trying to get the detonator that's hanging up top. And then what does Ethan do that's absolutely crazy? Pulls it down. I was like, I can't fucking believe he just did that.
Yeah. And the jumps, and then we're getting the climb. We're going back to Mission Impossible 2.
And, like, if you would have told me that there was a throwback where I would have said, it's awesome that he climbed the rocks, I would have said, no.
Yeah.
Nope, because it was a vanity project from fucking Tom Cruise, who was, like, at his most egomaniacal.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I looked at you, I remember just being like, I can't fucking believe that this is
They
so
did
fucking
it.
cool.
They
This
did
is
it.
so fucking
A
cool.
throwback to every single movie.
And he climbs up, and they're like, okay, they have no contact with Ethan.
No,
Nothing.
and he's not near the top yet.
He's not near the top. He's not even anywhere near the detonator. And they're just like, okay, well, we have to just cut the cords. Well, when do we cut the cords? And I like when they go, well, why don't we do it on when it gets down to 2? When the countdown gets to 2, and Benji's like, why don't we just do 1?
Yeah.
What's the extra second gonna do?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And they have no idea
No
that
idea.
Ethan is gonna do it, but they're still just like, well, we're gonna do it.
And then they both go snip, and then it directly cuts back to Ethan, who's still hanging on the side of the mountain.
Hanging.
But you don't notice the detonator at first.
That's right.
Because you see him hanging, and then they do this side shot where he looks over to where the village is.
Yep.
And I'm expecting to see an explosion.
I'm
afraid
I thought
to see
it
an
was
explosion.
over. I thought it was done.
And then they go back again, and he's got the detonator.
And he's holding the fucking thing in his mouth, and you're like, I don't care how corny that is. That is cool as fucking shit. Like, that is just balls cool.
Yeah. Yeah. And
that's the only time in the whole movie where I was like,
right. I was just like, oh, so much relief.
Wow.
So much relief.
Wow. And then you get that awesome scene with Julia.
Right.
Because
Angela Bassett picks him up, brings him back.
Yeah.
And then you get the Julia thing, but first you get the great, how close were we? And he goes, the usual. I was just like, that's nice.
And he just kind of like, okay,
the
all
usual.
right. And then Julia comes in, and he's just like, he's in tears. He's like, I'm sorry. And she's like, for what?
Such a beautiful, like...
For what? And I love that she's not the bitter, jaded ex-wife. She's like, you brought me to do the things that I was meant to do.
Yeah.
I've never felt more happy. I never felt more alive, you know? And that part where she's just like, I sleep soundly at night knowing that you're alive to save the world, and now I'm getting going because it's just like, that is amazing. That is so beautiful.
Yeah, it's so beautiful.
And then again, you get that little bit with her and Faust where it's just like, you get the lost in translation.
Right, the whisper? I know. What did she say?
And then you still don't get a kiss between the two.
No.
You know, but like...
But you feel like it's there. It's gonna...
Well, now, because the whole point was that Ethan was always willing to sacrifice the millions for the one. Well, now we realize that he sacrificed his perfect life for the millions, right? So he actually did sacrifice one for the millions. Now he doesn't have to. Now him and Faust can be like Mr. and Mrs. Smith. I know I made a terrible reference to a horrible fucking movie, but you get the idea that they can team up and be IMF together.
We got the Apostles are still out there.
The Apostles are still out there.
Like, that is a thread left hanging, so MI7 is going to happen. I honestly thought this would possibly be the end. Because Ilsa could easily carry the series. Like,
easily.
If Ethan decides to retire in any way or form.
Especially because the chemistry with her and Benji, with her and Luther.
Yes.
And then, like, Brandt could easily come back and the chemistry was all there and she could be just as good as Ethan. But different because she's a different character. Mm-hmm. But fuck, man, like I said this right away when it was done. Oh, by the way, no end credits. No stinger. No nothing. The movie ends, credits hit, that's it, and it was refreshing.
Felt like there was going to be a stinger.
It totally did, but I think it's because we were trained to think there was a stinger.
Solomon is still alive, gets thrown in the trunk, he's back with the British intelligence.
He's back with MI6.
So he's out there still.
Yeah, he could be brought back. I feel like if they do a movie with the Apostles, though, he gets killed. He gets killed, and I bet you it won't.
MI6 blows up or something.
Yeah, it won't be like Sean Harris playing him. They'll say it's like it's Solomon Lane, but you won't actually physically see that it's him. Or they might do like the thing they did with Hugo Weaving's Red Skull tacked on to what's his face.
Oh yeah.
Infinity War.
Yeah.
There's ways around it.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, like. I never would have guessed that I would have sat there and said that this is one of the best spy movies,
Mm-hmm.
one of the best action movies, and while it does tie up the entire franchise in a neat little bow, because the franchise could end right here.
It could.
And you'd be like, okay, all right, you know. I don't think it will. I think we'll at least get another movie. We'll get a 7th.
I tell you, like, it could tie it up, but at 97% Rotten Tomatoes and the biggest opening for Mission Impossible, it beat number 2.
Yeah.
Finally, an MI film.
I know. And not only that, like, I mean, the budget wasn't even that high.
Yeah.
So.
It's making money. Because it's that damn good.
Oh, it's so fucking good.
It's so damn good.
It's so good. Like, I mean, and this was actually one of the first things I said was I loved Rogue Nations. I absolutely loved Rogue Nations. This annihilated Rogue Nations.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, like.
Yeah, let's do our rundown. Now we're done Fallout, so I'm assuming that we're going to have pretty similar number scores, minus the second being thrown around in there.
Okay. Yeah. Well. Yeah. Exactly. So, it's actually Fallout. Rogue Nation. This is where I was kind of like,
Now you're in the other 4, and you're like, yeah.
Yeah, but I have to put Ghost Protocol in 3rd, which I never thought I would do.
Mm-hmm.
But then immediately after that is the original Mission Impossible. Mission Impossible 3.
And 2.
And 2 is right at the bottom, because 2 is a fucking garbage movie.
Right, because you don't like 2. I do like 2.
I know you do.
So
and that's fine.
I'm going Fallout.
Yep.
Rogue Nation.
Yeah.
Those 2 movies are I mean, I thought Rogue Nation was a perfect action movie.
Yeah.
And then I watched Fallout, and I was like, this is even more perfect.
And, like, I'm watching it.
I can't really pick anything apart from Rogue Nation.
No.
But at the same time, This is so much better.
Exactly. Like, there's nothing that I don't like about Rogue Nations, but I like everything about Fallout infinitely more.
I know. Yeah.
And I've watched a shitty cam version. It's not that shitty, but it's a cam version.
It's a cam version.
I've watched it 2 times already, and I'm just like, fuck, man, this is so crazy good.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And then I'm going to go number 2.
Okay.
Obviously.
That's your 3rd pick?
Yep.
Really?
Yeah. That's fine.
I just Benji the camera.
You Benji the camera.
That's
fine.
Fuck, it's crazy.
If anyone watched part 1, they'll know why it was my 3rd pick.
Then
Ghost Protocol. Protocol.
Yeah, okay.
The 1 and 3.
Yeah.
3 at the bottom.
Yeah.
I hated Marriage at First, but the way they've tied it up now, I still hate that movie. But I feel better about the marriage now.
Yeah,
it feels like it was a throwaway storyline for that one movie.
But it still, it doesn't make 3 any better in retrospect.
Yeah.
It just makes you understand the marriage more so. All it is, it's like, because you said yourself that you didn't like how it happened, and then they almost never mention it without a little bit of a, oh, she's still alive type of thing, right? Mm-hmm. Whereas now they actually full on go, well, they divorced, here's why, and I love that she's just like, I'm not mad at you. I'm actually happy. I'm happy I met you. My life is so much better because of you, and it's going to continue to be better because of you. And you're just like, well, fuck.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. You know? Yeah. Like, when the next, if Shatterhand happens, I feel like James Bond 25 or Shatterhand, if that's
I
what
really
they're
hate
going
that
with.
title. I really want to see Shatterhand.
So why not call it Shatterstar? Fuck it.
I mean, you're not far off from Cockknocker with that.
Yeah.
Shatterhand?
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
Is it a
Shat in her hand?
Shat in your guy with glass hand, yeah.
Yeah, but so I feel like, because, originally, Bourne influenced the Bond movies, right? And then Bond eventually influenced Jason Bourne. The Mission Impossible movies...
They've never been influenced.
They've done their own thing all the way through.
They do their own thing. They're like, this movie's going to be this movie's going to be this.
I feel like Bond 25 is going to be heavily influenced by
this
Fallout. And I feel like if they're smart, it should also be influenced by Spectre and Jason Bourne in the sense that you don't do this. This is what you don't do. Mm-hmm. I know what they were trying to do with Spectre, and they were trying to bring it back to the campy sort of Roger Moore version.
They were trying, yeah. But it was very Bondy, like the old
They never
Bond.
should have done that.
It was the torture scene that really made me go, oh, exactly. I'm really feeling the old Bond right now.
Exactly. And I remember, like, that part right away, I was just like, but that's all we're going to say.
That's all we're going to
say about that. But I feel like Shatterhand, if they don't change the title, is going to be heavily influenced by this because it has to be.
You know what?
This is so fucking good. Like,
Spectre had a really fucking high, hard mountain to climb after Skyfall.
It really did. But
the eventual MI7 that will happen, it's going to have a hard time climbing Fallout.
Yeah, but okay.
You need Christopher McQuarrie to come back.
Hold on. Fallout had a really high mountain to climb from Rogue Nations.
It really did.
Okay. And look what happened.
Right. It's perfect. I don't know how more perfect you can get, though.
It's perfecter, because...
Perfecter.
Because Rogue Nations is perfect.
Can you get perfecter?
More perfecter?
Oh. The perfectest.
Still dramatically bullshit, but...
Yep.
You know. Mm-hmm. So, at the end of the day...
Yeah, so that's the rundown. I gotta say that, like, when we were doing our comic book predictions for 2018, 2019, I had my list there. It was all comic book movies, and you're like, let's throw Mission Impossible in there, right? And I was like, okay, it's not a comic book movie, but I made the joke, like, okay, Tom Cruise is a superhero. He's honestly a fucking superhero after this.
Yeah.
So is Ethan Hunt. Like, this shit's unreal. Yeah. And you know what? The way, like, at his age, the way he's throwing his body on the line for entertainment value.
Yeah, exactly. Like, they talked about Daniel Craig. I mean, at his age, doing the stunts that he was doing doesn't hold a candle. Yeah. Does not hold a candle.
Not a candle.
You know, and realistically, and no offense to Daniel Craig, but Daniel Craig is younger and in better shape. Like, visually, if you look at him, you go, holy shit, right? And he's complaining about the stunts and stuff like that. Okay, that's fine. Like,
I never get that sense from Cruise that he would complain about anything. I feel like he's game for it all.
Yeah, and I mean,
you know what? He's like, he'll sit down and go,
what you will about the Scientology
what is the crowd going to love? And that's like, they've been teasing the Tom Cruise and Dwayne Johnson have been teasing online that they want to work together and everything. But Dwayne Johnson, he recently said, because he was Forbes' highest grossing actor in history for 1 year, right? And he said, I work with the idea that I don't have a boss. The audience is my boss. Yeah. They're my boss. I want to make them happy. Exactly. I feel like Cruise has the same mind frame.
Yes. And going back to what I said like a while ago, too, I also feel like he watches a lot of movies. He's not just watching... He's not just watching what's happening in and around him today, but he's also watching older movies. I guarantee you, if we ran into him and he was, like, not busy or anything, and I was like, hey, man, you ever watch anything from Korea, like South Korean cinema? He'd be like, yeah, I do. I watch everything. And you'd be like, you have no choice but to be like, he watches everything. Yeah. Like, I could say I watch everything, and then people will be like, well, do you watch this? And I'm like, okay, well, all right, I don't watch everything.
He knows what works. He knows what people want.
Yeah.
Like, this movie is so great, and I guarantee you, he goes, oh, that movie's great. I'm going to go watch it immediately. My next plane ride from here to here.
Exactly.
I'm watching all these movies.
Whatever he's whatever he's doing in between, he's probably watching these movies. Yeah. You know, and now I don't feel so bad for watching movies a lot. I watch movies a lot, and I watch a lot of the same movies over and over again.
Right, because one day you might be Tom Cruise.
One day I might be. Like, I'm hoping at some point.
You'll get there.
I'm in the starting phases though. I gotta admit, I've been watching these camcasts and I'm just like, belly, okay, jowl, okay, Chris, all right.
I notice it right here when I'm sitting sideways and I see this. I was like, do I try to lose it or do I buy a higher table?
Yeah. Do I try to position myself in a way where you don't see my belly?
Yeah.
You know?
But yeah, honestly, I have so much more respect for Cruise now than ever before.
Now I feel like I don't think I'll ever be in a period where I'm like, I don't know if I like Tom Cruise. Yeah. You know, like I said, like you can talk about the Scientology shit all day long, but at the end of the day, I don't give a fuck.
It doesn't fucking matter. I got friends that are into religions that I'm not into.
Tom Cruise isn't showing up in my house going like, hey man, are you a Scientologist? And I say no, and he goes, you better be a fucking Scientologist. Yeah. No, not at all. And I mean, okay, so he had that one bout of craziness, but did War of the Worlds bomb because of it? No. It was a huge blockbuster success, okay? MI3 was, you know, it is what it is, but... Yeah.
He rarely has a movie that doesn't make more than $100 million.
Exactly.
At the domestic box office. That's got to tell you something.
And I mean, okay, so in the last couple of years, it's been hit and miss with him. Still,
Yeah.
Like, he is still more hit than miss. I mean, even Valkyrie, which wasn't that good of a movie, he was the best thing in that movie.
Yeah.
I almost feel like we should do a Tom Cruise retrospective.
Hey, I'm down with that.
You know what I mean? Like, you pick 3 of your favorite Tom Cruise movies. I'll pick 3 of my favorite Tom Cruise, excluding the Mission Impossible movies.
Yeah.
We'll keep those out.
I mean, it kind of teased already what my 3 would be in our last one when we had that question going, what's your favorite Tom Cruise movie?
Yeah.
And I straight out threw 3 movies out there.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, obviously mine's going to be Collateral, which is going to be one of mine.
Yeah.
You know?
mean, but whatever. I'm down with that.
Man, because, like, yeah, fuck, like, it's, yeah, say what you will, but that guy fucking delivers, and I firmly believe he's willing to die for this fucking movie.
He would.
Any of these movies, if he feels like, okay, you know what?
He's probably got in his contract that if I die during this, I want you to still release it. I guarantee. I don't care if it's only 45 minutes long.
He's got a post-mortem credit, like in his own movie. He's got a pre-sequel credit.
There's a scene of him just jumping. And it cuts to black. It's like, in memory of Tom Cruise. You don't know what happened with the rest of the movie.
It's gonna be like, okay, first of all, you finish the movie.
Yeah.
CGI the shit out of it, but you release that movie.
You release it.
Yeah, actually,
I guarantee you, if I die, release the movie.
But you know what I also like too is that, like, when people talk about Tom Cruise in interviews, you don't get the sense that they're saying what you want to hear or what the Scientologists want you to say. Because I feel like he probably just is his natural, like, cool dude. He just happens to be a Scientologist.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, whatever. You got your beliefs. Who cares?
Yeah.
What you believe in doesn't affect me whatsoever.
But a lot of times, even the people that he works with goes on to bigger and better things. There's only, like I mean, like I mentioned Collateral, Jamie Foxx hasn't really done much of anything.
No.
But, I mean...
He did. He had a run there for a while.
He did have a run there for a while.
He used the hot stuff for a while,
yep.
you know, and a lot of guys in the 2000s were like that. They were the hot guys, and now they're kind of simmered down. Tom Cruise has held.
Yeah, but what I was going to say was, though, is that, like, part of it is that, like, they strike when the iron's hot, so to speak, but also eventually you start to realize, like, first of all, I don't think Jamie Foxx is an amazing actor.
He's a good actor.
He's a good actor.
Who gets amazing roles often.
Yes, who does manage to get amazing roles.
Yes.
You know, but then, like, so, like, Amazing Spider-Man 2 was a perfect example where he could have been the best thing in that movie. There was the potential for that.
And he was so far off from it.
And he was so far off. Like, he was terrible in that movie.
We've already had one Edward Digbuff. We don't need another one.
Exactly. You know what I mean? And that's the thing where, like, even in Mission Impossible 2, as much as I say that is the worst Mission Impossible, Tom Cruise is the best thing in that movie.
Oh, yeah.
You know, even when he's saying these really shitty written lines that he signed off on, he is still the best thing in that movie. And that's always, like, a clear indication, you know? But, Last Samurai, that'd be another one of my favorite Tom Cruise movies, because it's so good.
Yeah, no, I'm down with that.
I'm going to see if I can nail a third. I'm
just
trying to see if I can nail a third of my favorite Tom Cruise movies.
Interview with Vampire.
Yep, yeah, that's right. I mentioned in the last one, so yeah, thank you for remembering. Yeah, so those would be the 3. Yeah, okay. At some point in the near future, you know, when we run out.
And I would have a runner-up as Top Gun.
Yeah, Top Gun,
Rain
Man.
Yeah, but my 3 are probably War of the Worlds and Oblivion.
Rain Man is I like that movie, but I wouldn't say that's one of Tom Cruise's best.
No,
because that's during like a period where he's kind of playing the same.
He
role.
did a lot of roles. I mean, they were really good, but
he was kind of
playing. Few Good Men with Jack Nicholson. You know, he had that big scene. With
sorry, what? Oh yeah, Few Good Men. Yeah, Few Good Men was actually really good.
Yeah, you can't handle the truth, you know.
Yeah, and it's funny how much Michelle hates Tom Cruise, but that's one of her favorite movies.
Oh yeah. Demi Moore, right?
Nope. I don't think it is. I think it's actually. I think it's Jack Nicholson. And I think it's Tom Cruise. Yeah. He's just so good.
He is
absolutely one of the greatest actors.
I was going to mention, like, you look at the 80s, like the stars from the 80s. Bruce Willis, Sylvester Stallone, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yeah, all these stars in the 80s, action stars.
Yep.
They're doing direct-to-video now. They're doing small shit. Tom Cruise has held this title since, like, Top Gun.
Even though,
just like boom, boom, boom.
Even though he may not be as respected within the acting community as he once was, because apparently, like, it's still a lot of people look at his crazy period as like, and the Scientology stuff, they're like, oh, he's fucking,
such bullshit.
He's fucking crazy. He's weird, but it's just like you're right. Like Bruce Willis practically sleepwalks through almost every single one of his roles. Where now he's not even a character; he's just himself.
I'm just Bruce Willis,
and I'm bored. I'm like almost pained to be in this movie. That's why I have not watched the Death Wish remake, and have no desire to watch it. That's one of the reasons why, as much as I'm pumped for Glass,
you're worried about Glass.
I'm worried about him tanking the movie. Because you don't see him do anything other than Bruce Willis in the trailers.
His little spot at the end of Split was David Dunn.
Yeah.
It was him, like, same way he was in Unbreakable.
But he was also in it for 30 seconds.
Yeah. So, we'll see.
We'll see. I'm, like,
crossing fingers.
Really, really hoping.
Crossing fingers.
But then, like you said, too, or even Will Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Will Smith is an absolutely, like, he was a top.
Yeah.
And he is an absolutely amazing actor.
And now he's doing Netflix movies. Tom Cruise hasn't gone there yet.
You know, I mean, like, After Earth was just like, ugh.
Mm-hmm.
If you could pick a movie that killed Will Smith's career, After Earth.
Yeah. Probably.
Yeah.
Not so much After Earth, but the fact that he was so set on shoehorning his friggin' son into everything.
That I actually didn't mind so much. Actually, no, I wouldn't have minded so much if his son was any good.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean...
And apparently his son's a huge tool bag because he, like, got his bodyguards to kick my brother out of a club.
Oh, yeah!
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Know that story?
No, I've never heard this.
James was at this club in Toronto, you know, because he does the club thing, right?
Of course, yeah.
He works for the guys and everything. They're on the top floor, the main floor.
Yep.
And then he's check out the club. His bodyguards come up and like, everyone out, you out. And then they push James and all these people out. And who walks in? Jaden. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so like I said, like, it wouldn't have been so bad if Jaden was good. But even then, that movie is pretty terrible.
Yeah.
And that's during, like, Will Smith's squinty phase, where he almost looks like he's in pain for every movie.
Mm-hmm.
And it started with I Am Legend.
The squint.
Yeah.
That's when he plays a serious actor. Squints.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, because he's in pain. Like, everyone's dead. I am legend.
I am legend.
You know that's the line he wanted to say, right?
That's great. I like that. But I am legend.
Even though he wasn't terrible and bright, it was just, like, really?
Yeah, bright.
You're doing, like, Adam Sandler Netflix movies now? Like, you were the king of the fucking summer.
I know. Yeah.
Just do Bad Boys 3.
Yeah. And
then call it a day. Go away for, like, 5 years. Come back. Suicide Squad was not the big return that he wanted.
No. And Independence Day would have been 3 times bigger if he returned for it. But he didn't. He picked Suicide Squad and then Bright. So
Hold on. I watched Independence Day Resurgence. I'm glad he wasn't in that movie.
It would have been different with him in it, though.
It would have been different with him in it, but then it still would have been fucking terrible.
Mm.
Painfully terrible.
But you've never been an ID4 fan as it is. We're getting off topic.
Nope. No, I was not.
The Mission Impossible podcast.
Did we get off topic again?
It happens.
What?
It happens. I feel like we're clocking in pretty long at the moment.
Yeah.
So,
you know what? Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for subscribing on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter. Twitter's still a thing, guys. On Instagram. Because we're everywhere. We're everywhere. SoundCloud, we're on that too.
Yeah.
What else?
Doing SoundCloud, we got YouTube going, iTunes.
I already said YouTube. iTunes, iTunes. iTunes. We're everywhere. Eventually we're going to be on Google Music, possibly Spotify. You don't know where you're going to find us. But we're going to be there wearing our geek pants, and you should too. Thank you so much. I made a mess, eh? I threw garbage already.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna clean that shit up, though. This is not my house.
Oh no, I'm totally the bitch.
You don't have to do that. I'll clean up. You're not the bitch. Not at all. You're a man, Kenneth.
You smacked that good though.
Yeah.
It kind of threw me off.
I know.
You're like getting into it, and then
Just want everyone to know how thankful we are.
Good job.